Making a video. Inmendham video, I hope. Let's see how this works out. Fluffy cat. He's tolerating me more and more. So you can just see he's still... Are you going to hit me? Are you going to hit me? Are you going to hit me? He still worries. I don't know if you can hear it, but all these bees are up in this thing here. Got this here, I don't know what it is, bittersweet or I don't know what it is, but flowery kind of vine thing growing. And it's dropping all this crap here. But yeah, the bees, you can just bzzz. Could make you insane if you were that type. So I thought I'd do an outdoor video. Not very sunny today, but it'll have to do. Be good for comparison. Thought I would wobble about, look at the gardening and such. Oh, I should go to the main garden. It probably won't be the main garden anymore. Yeah, the other gardens are more and more of them. This has been getting less and less fruitful for whatever dumb reason. It's kind of a nice area, but I don't know. It's my towel. Yeah. And yeah, so these are the plants I planted, of course. Neighbor's way behind. Yeah, my plants. Yeah, he's going to be way behind. But, you know, it'll be nice. Flowers in front and all that kind of stuff. Very nice. So anyway, yeah, not a lot of stuff's growing yet, but it's getting there. It's almost ready to do something. You know, I do like these variegated things. Petunias, nice. So I thought I would respond to an Anticontavad video because he's still complaining about determinism, and he just doesn't like the word, I guess. Doesn't like the concept of us being robots. And there's a ton of arguments. I'm not going to do a free will video. I mean, this is a ton of arguments, you know, about how it's just stuck with cause and effect. There's no way to get around it. We're just programmed by environment and circumstances. The past makes the future, and you know, it's just a mechanical device. But he just doesn't like that idea. I mean, the biggest reason to say who cares is even if you were to say we had some kind of free thing, whatever that would be, you'd want it to be intelligent, you know, right? I mean, if you had a will that was supposed to be unbound, you wouldn't want it to be dumb, you know, unbounded by reason, unbounded by the right answer. So I guess he's holding out for, you don't have to be smart, but the universe will tell you what to do, and the universe has some built-in wisdom, or something like that, right? I mean, that's all there could be. Yeah, it's working. I don't see the little red light, but I guess it's lighter than I thought. But really, it's just gray day. Yeah, a little disappointing on the apples. I mean, the tree looks good, you know, but yeah, I got like 3 apples on the tree. Yeah, I thought I could find one, but yeah, they're really hard to find. So that's all disappointing. Yeah, maybe I don't have any apples, but something keeps eating them even before they start growing. I don't see any. Well, there's no point in looking for apples. That's not a video kind of thing to do, looking for apples. So anyway, this is kind of a nice little idea. This thin deer netting isn't quite as ugly, so we'll see how it works. You know, the idea of both, you know, seems to work. This is a nice cage thing. It works kind of good to keep the plants from falling down. So that's good. There's little flowers on the tomatoes, which is good. So, yeah, moving right along. So anyway, yeah, so you'd want your brain controlled by the best possible control mechanism. And if you really look around in the universe, like that stump, not a very good control mechanism. This piece of wire, not too hot. This dandelion, retarded. Dumbest flower on earth. You wouldn't want that in charge. The seed pod, that's a nice one there. Ooh. Ooh, stroke it. Yeah. Anyway, dandelion daisies. You wouldn't want daisies in control, although dumb as a dandelion, they're, I think, a little fancier. Dumb sleeping cat, actually sleeping where he poos. He wants to be close to it. I didn't like losing that. It's mine, mine, mine. Oh, it's your poo. Yes. Yeah, they're animals. Yeah, so you wouldn't want them in control. You wouldn't want the animal inside of you, the thing that wants to sleep with its own poo. You wouldn't want it in control. So what would you want in control? Oh, smart stuff, brainy things, logic, reasoning, something that's capable of collecting facts and evaluating circumstances and figuring out what's the best thing I can do for all of everything. That kind of thing. But see, Anticontavad isn't a all and everything kind of guy. He's more of a what's in it for me kind of guy. So that's why he has a problem with all this stuff. Because he's basically saying, I don't need a brain. You have to know what's in it for me. Or to smell it and say it smells like candy, me eaty, me licky. You know, he doesn't need to do this brainy thing. So, but I still don't know why that would. Well, it's just he just doesn't like being called a robot, a reflexive organism. Yeah, he doesn't want to be a reflexive organism. But you know, there's all kinds of, you know, in a sense, we're just universe fart or something. You know, because reflexes are just, yeah, it's not much to say. Not too spectacular being a fart of the universe. So, you know, these are getting fluffy. It's just, you know, it's been a little slow, but it's it really should be flowers any day now. You know, something a little more than all this green shit. But you have to have the green shit before you can have the other shit. No, but that's sort of, you know, life is that shit. So anyway, I was going to use a pinball machine metaphor of, you know, just to do the layering thing, because, you know, he has a problem with these layers. He thinks our brain is on some other layer, especially this emotive brain that's doing all this I wanty stuff, I needy. And no, it's just another layer. You could start off with a pinball machine that was really simple, and then you put a chute on it that says, you know, reproductive chemical, DNA. And then you have a chute off of that, you know, to another pinball machine, you know, that says, you know, cellular reproduction. And then you get to multicellular reproduction. And then you get neurons. And it all just goes into other pinball machines, so to speak. The pinball machine expands as your possibilities of complexity expand. And so then you have the possibility of grass and planet, and then the planet turns into an animal planet, and then the animal planet, blah, 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 blah. Because the ball falls down these chutes, and there's a certain percentage chance that it falls down the chute. Like the chance of making a neuron is so low that it only happened once. You know, the chance of the cell, the reproducing cell, consuming its own self, a child of its own, or a neighbor, and actually having the neighbor live inside of it was low. I mean, you know, the chance of you eating your neighbor and having him live inside of you, you know, or swallowing your neighbor whole or something, and have him finding a lifestyle in there, not too high. It's almost like the whale thing or something. You know, people just can't live inside of whales too easy, but maybe, you know, in the right circumstance, it works out, but it's just very unlikely. So that's not a chute. The ball goes down very easy. So the pinball machines are mostly running most of the time, and they're not doing any of this worrying about, whoa, am I a free agent or am I a robot controlled by reasoning and intelligence? You know, obliged to, you know, follow some sort of path of adding the bytes up and, you know, bidding them into a reasonable response to the, you know, instead of making reactions that are knee-jerky, You know, instead of being some spastic thing, you know, we're capable of being a smart thing. So that's a good thing. People should feel good about that. You know, that's like all positive. Oh, you woke up, huh? Did you protecting your poo, are you? From the poo thieves? Yes. Oh, you're hot. Yes. What you get for sleeping on wood chips, you retard. He's old. That's the other problem. When you get old, Clover. Yeah, they're really dumb too. Hey, somebody left their camera outside. Must be an idiot without much reasoning capacity. Kind of. Anyway, so there's stuff in there. Pool. I didn't show you the new pool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? $17 pool. You know, $60 greenhouse. Did okay this year. Yes, but it's just you know, room for two. Yeah. Anyway, so you know, nice addition. Now we just need, I need better weather, you know, to fully enjoy it. I don't know if there's anything pretty in here, but we'll go in anyway. Nice and humid. But yeah, see lots of petunias and things waiting to make flowers and such. And we had a big wind day, and this whole thing fell down on top of a whole bunch of other things. That wasn't any good. But you know, you always take some losses. Yeah, always. A little asparagus. Got to grow some new asparagus. So it'll be a few years before I get to eat those. But anyway, yeah, I got to plan I got to make a better asparagus bed because my asparagus just don't thrive. So I've got beets growing in here. Got to pull them and put them in pots, I guess, so I can put in places. And then got to make some sort of signage to inform the slugs that I could live without them. So anyway, see, I just don't know. I'm not too thrilled with these colors. This is kind of, I got too many of these coming up, which is a little bit, you know. I mean, it's a nice color, but it just isn't. It's not what I'm in the mood for this year. But I do like when this kind of stuff happens. So I'm not, you know, that color doesn't thrill me, but I like the multi-colorness. Deers ate my hibiscus, so I had to bring them in here. That was disappointing. So you see these zinnia things and stuff, they're almost ready to flower. Those will be a little slow because they're just transplanted. You don't need to know all this stuff. But some things that are good for you, that you do need, you don't know you need. That's how it all works too. You don't consciously know it. You know, and maybe your subconscious knows it and gives you a warning feeling. Ooh, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel right. And sometimes it does exactly the opposite. You're doing perfectly fine, and your feelings just get you in trouble. I wish you would. Yeah, I wish you would. Yeah. Oh, you fell over, didn't you? Yes, I just stay on the ground and be quiet. Yes. Yeah, I prefer that. Animals should be seen, and that's it. Shouldn't have to feed them or do anything. They should just sit around and look like an animal. Yeah, just sit here and look like an animal. See, I like robots, especially robots that don't have any agenda, don't wish to do anything at all. They just sit there. Maybe a couple of blinking lights. Let's go blink, 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 blink. You know, that kind of thing. But, yeah, what goes on in brains, there's just no point in trying to make it into magic. I saw a little icon for a video the other day where some woman had a dog who pisses in her mouth. This is what people do. You know, this is the kind of stuff the free will brains figure out. So you kind of know, oh, okay. Yeah, this will thing can't be made out of anything but crap. You know, it's broken all the way down. It's delusion all the way down. It's just, but anyway, I was telling you the pinball machine metaphor. Once you get into these layers of complexity, the whole brain just becomes one of the pinball machines inside the pinball machine. You know, it's like these, you know, there's lots of ways, I guess, the metaphor, just you can make it get smaller and smaller, you get more and more detail like a fractal, or you can just make it go sideways. You know, the play, the gameplay just keeps going sideways as you get more and more complicated. And yeah, brain is part of the same mechanism. The other machines are still going, the whole universe is going, you know, simple, sun's blowing up, all that kind of stuff. The planet Earth is still going, the sub part of Earth of living things is going, and then you get all the way down to you and your little machine is going. But it's machines, and you know, you're not going to make life defendable by coming up with some crap that it has a magic element that does something that's less than intelligent. Because it's going to be really hard for you to come up with some kind of way or mechanism or theme that explains how it could possibly, your free will could possibly be more intelligent than an educated will, than a will that's been contemplating the subject. Anything you got from nature isn't going to be good. It's going to be racist and nepotistic, very self-oriented, very selfish gene-ish. And the selfish gene doesn't make brilliant. It makes convenient. Brilliant and convenient. See, this is where words are kind of important. If people took words seriously, I should just be able to say the words brilliant and convenient, and people would understand, oh yeah, they don't have anything to do with each other. yeah, it's really seldom that the brilliant thing is the convenient thing. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, what's in it for me just isn't brilliant. It's often wasteful and stupid. You really do have to calculate all the implications you can, put them all in your brain that's more capable. You don't ask the dumb machine, what do I do? You don't go backwards and ask your history what to do. We're the more refined thing. You don't go back to try to find the cave that your people came from and go read the writing on the wall. That's not the clever thing to do. That's not the brilliant thing to do. That's the cop-out. You know, you want a dumb answer because dumb answers are more fun. And I know my theme against Anaconda Bod just keeps repeating this theme, but that's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to rationalize being a selfish cunt. I mean, fortunately he doesn't do economics videos, but I'm sure, you know, he would be doing his little invisible hand Ayn Randian nonsense. Because clearly that's how he thinks. He thinks there's something innate in human beings that is of some value, and there just isn't. Or any living organism, any need machine, again, just machines, programmed machine. I mean, that cat is a programmed machine. It's programmed to be a cat. It does cat things like this. It lies down and licks its willy and shit. That's what cats do. They do cat things. Dogs do dog things. They eat rocks and poo and shit and smell and look stupid and conspire to break things. I don't like dogs much anymore. Yeah, really. I mean, I don't hate dogs, but it's just they used to have a certain charm, and then I just realized, they're just dumb fuckers. I mean, very devoted, very, I love you, I love you, I love you, but it's just so, I'm so sick of hearing that. You know, it's like they can't say anything else. And if you got to hear it every day, I guess I'd rather hear the fuck you from the cat than the I love you from the dog. But frankly, I'd rather have a pair of scissors as a friend. You know, with blinking lights maybe. Yeah, give me a plant, you know, that, I don't know, that, you know, has a little bobble on the end, so it bobbles a little bit. Just a little friendly bobble. Just something simple. That's good enough. Robot talk. Yeah, that's fine. I got a lot of grass I have to cut. It's really by the time I finish this is the last one I could, then I got to do this one again, and I got to do that one, I got to do that one, it just keeps going every week, like a cycle or something. But that's what else things are, a cycle. Yeah. So, what else? I'm actually baking some muffins of sorts. Hopefully that's what they'll be. A little bit of luck. So, I thought I'd do a video, and I was worried I would go on too long, but I'm really not that interested. So I'm not that interested. It's like, I don't know. You can only go over this stuff so many times, and you just say, well, people just don't get it. They don't want to get it. I don't know what the thing is. They want to pretend it's all something wonderful. Okay, whatever. See, it'd make it all very easy if it was really simple. If life was a simple mechanism and all it made was smiley faces. And little smiley faces floated through the universe, just being little smiley faces. And yeah, that'd make it really easy. Then we wouldn't have anything to argue about, right? Because, hey, it's just harmless smiley faces, so it's all good. So who cares? Determinism, robots? Who cares what's producing the endless supply of wonderful little happy smiley faces? It's all like harmless. So who cares? Determinism, not determinism? It doesn't really, none of that shit could possibly matter. But the only thing that makes this matter is the stakes are higher. There's, frowny faces. And a lot of frowny. Some frowny faces can get really, really frowny. Like profoundly frowny. Toxically frowny. Like, I'm gonna human centipede you. That kind of frowny out there. It's out there. I mean, maybe a day at the nursing home might be just as bad as being human centipeded. And that's happening every day. So there's a stake here in this conversation about how what we're doing and what it means. And clearly, just even if you didn't go big picture, there's a lot to stake just in the present, in the fact that we're all alive and we feel. And it'd be nice if we could maximize this adventure into one where, we minimize the catastrophe. Any kind of downside is minimized, I guess is one way to put it. That you make it as free as possible. So if it's possible to make it inexpensive, you try to do that. If there's a way to maximize the efficiency, it's like you buy a solar panel and it has a clear film on it to protect it, and you don't take the film off, and somebody tells you, hey, you can get twice as much electricity out of that thing if you take that film off of it. It's just protecting the glass from scratches. You see, that kind of thing. That's a free win. So if all this talking crap can make some free wins, like we make something less harmful, or we maximize some sort of comfort that people experience, that's great. But I think Anaconda Vod wants to do that in a context where he just doesn't pay any attention to the existence of the future. He doesn't think it's a thing that will exist. And his only obligation is into some present economy. What's in it for me? And if I have to, I'll consider you other people. But I'm really not interested in Generation X, too. Even though you just had a kid, you'd think you'd get that would be a little bit of a motivation to say, well, why am I telling people to be selfish cunts now, when my kid's going to have to live in their shit? Because they're going to shit everywhere. I mean, you get people saying what's in it for me all the time. That's not going to make for a great world for, Anaconda Vod Jr. to squirm through. Because they're going to shit the place up. And maybe catastrophically. Fukushima, global warming, blah, blah, blah. So that just seems like an obvious. You don't think very hard, do you? I mean, or much. you know, you just like talking, you know, rationalizations or something. I mean, he's a professional rationalizer. That's sort of his job, I guess, as a you know a mouthpiece for mobs, whether it be the employers or the employees, and their obligation, their job, the lawyer, it's just to rationalize, make excuses, make justifications. Fuck the truth. So that would be my accusation. That that's maybe he's just practicing his skill as a professional rationalizer. He wants to just keep his game face, in the off cycle. And damn deers. I get rid of this stuff here. Damn weeds. Deers ate some of it. That was good, but of course they eat the good stuff, and that's bad. Bad, 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 bad. So I think we're done. I think my muffins should be at a point where I have to. I will reflexively, as programmed, do the appropriate action, which is to pull them out of the fire. And well, I won't anthropomorphize a muffin. There's just no point. You people don't even understand that cats are animals and alive and have a consciousness. Some of you people. So why am I bothering anthropomorphizing a muffin when you can't even figure out that a cat has got a brain in its little head, and it has desires and hopes and wishes and fantasies and does all that crap? But it probably gets awful confused because it doesn't have any information. So, it probably thinks when it dreams something that really happened. It just kind of thinks, well, I fell into a glass of water and everything got really weird, and all this shit happened, or something like that. I was just using a glass of water as a metaphor for how dreams are kind of. I mean, they're it's not that they're slow, but they're just not in the regular world. They're in a world that's definitely got a medium in it, because light doesn't move the right, nothing does anything the way it's supposed to do in this world. But anyway, see, that's just another reflexive mechanism of our roboticness. It's been learned through evolution, like the leaves learn how to protect themselves from bugs and pour water down the edges by a certain shape, the water will drip down. That they've learned, and our brain has been evolved, the tool to maximize its efficiency. And one of the ways of peeling the plastic off the solar cell is to practice. To have your brain, when it's doing its body build-up thing at night, to work on the brain a little too, and run some scenarios, do some practicing, some life practice. But the brain doesn't want to waste. Obviously, it's resting, so it doesn't want to waste a whole bunch of energy being strictly rational. So it gives you the cartoon version. It gives you the cartoon drawing of the boogeyman in your brain, and it just says, look, you can't lose. So yeah, I'll make your enemies into your friends and your friends into your enemies, just so you're ready for it when it happens. That kind of thing. And so yeah, some of the scenarios it creates, probably you're never going to encounter, having a 9-foot penis, but some of them you may. And now you're ready because you've practiced. That's not complicated. It explains a whole part of our really part of our conscious experience, part of our real life experience is dreaming. And it's explained with a simple explanation. It's a robotic, reflexive mechanism. There's nothing to worry about in terms of it violates determinism. The other thing I think Anaconda is trying to do is he's trying to find some element of life that doesn't obey the rule And then he can say determinism doesn't exist because look, it's not consistent. Because he just doesn't like this word. He doesn't like being a robot. Oh. You know, like it would matter. Not being a robot would be what? You know, not having to learn how to not piss your pants. What would be the alternative to having to learn not to? To just magically know? So if you magically knew, that wouldn't be very free either. So you either learn it or you magically know it. So how is the magically knowing it something free-ish? It doesn't sound like that's free. It doesn't sound like that's not bound by some kind of, well, you have to get lucky and just automatically know it. You know, some of us are lucky and we automatically know it because we're free. Huh? So that doesn't even get you anywhere. I mean, it's a dead-end conversation. It's a deterministic universe. Your brain is just part of the universe determining things. And so just forget about it. Forget about worrying about, you know, what you're classified as. Especially, like I said, if you're going to keep using words like free, because it's a stupid word. If the alternative to determinism is the word free, just fuck the conversation. Because free is a word of the imbecile. It just has no meaning. It's nonsense. It's a white space word. It's a word you use as a reaction, not an action. It's a reaction to prison, or a reaction to cancer, or a reaction to anal wart. It's not a word that is free, as funny as that sounds. Free isn't a freedom word. Look at all that little flowers. Lots of bees. Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm a human, not a bee. I'm sophisticated and fancy. Anyway. Except burning my muffins, no doubt. I have to get an oven glove anyway. Yeah, my oven doesn't do ovening currently. So I have to oven other places. And my kitchen does do fruit fly though. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So the oven doesn't oven, but the rest of the kitchen does somehow produce fruit flies. Anyway, I think we're done. Enough of it. I could play his second video. I haven't played it yet. I was going to do that, but nah. Maybe later. I don't think there'll be anything. I don't think there'll be anything new. He'll just keep saying things like, "I'm not saying there isn't determinism. I'm just saying there's not determinism." I mean, don't you get the difference?